2, 1.
Hi.
Okay, hold on.
Let's try that again. Well, I'm just new to the high school class already, so as long as it's not my idea of jacking. Alright,
Alright.
Hi, I'm Abe Weil, first year PhD student at the University of Arizona Gender Women's Studies Department here in Tucson, Arizona. I'm here with Dr. November Papaleo. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Pretty
Caffeinated.
So congratulations on being our first graduated PhD student. We're super excited. How's it feel?
It feels fiscally profitable. I'm still single on the job market.
Good. You want to tell us a little bit about your research?
So the research actually started in 2005 for my master's program. MySpace had just launched at that point, and so I was really interested in terms of how people were conceptualizing their identities online. So that project looked at 18 to 22-year-olds, looked at the 200 most recent edits on MySpace, they're defunct now. And I analyzed the types of conversations they have and how they interact with each other. And master's degree wrapped up, it was a great project. And when I started here, Dr. Jen Croissant does digital media technology analysis, and I really wanted to work under her. So, when we were talking about this project, I wanted to understand how students in particular conceptualized the impact of social networks on their lives, not necessarily how they use them. So I wanted to look at their relationships, how they interact with each other, how they eventually, as it evolved, it turned into how do they interact with hostility towards each other. And then in the last 2 years, it switched from being student-centered, because there's a lot of research coming out about students and how they're doing technology. And I flipped it to look at the educators. I wanted to see how educators were conceptualizing this stuff, because a lot of what is happening with cyberbullying or digital literacy training is happening at the educational level for K through 12. And in high school, there's some social identity stuff that's happening as well that teachers are having an interact with, and it's impacting their teaching. They're using like 20% of their total teaching time on behavioral issues. And if I lost 20 hours a week just because I couldn't get my computer started, I would freak out. And they're losing 20% of their teaching time because students are conceptually freaking out about whatever it is they're dealing with. And so that's the project ended up being an analysis of educators at Marana High School in a suburb of Tucson. It was an interesting district. The median salary for homeowners was $70,000 a year. Tucson median average is about 36, and so it's really high. It actually went up $4,000 a year just in the space of time I was doing my research. So it's incredibly affluent on the east side of the tracks. And then on the west side, it's got a 30% population of students who qualify for free and reduced lunches. It's got a huge transient population where students are in and out based on either agricultural practices of their families or based on the needs of supervising or babysitting their siblings. So that took 2 years, and that's where I've ended up. Is I studied digital literacy, cyberbullying, how educators themselves were covertly participating in bullying practices, and then also an evaluation of the policies for Marana Unified School District.
Awesome.
It's a mouthful.
What kind of classes did you take here that sort of helped push that forward?
Classes that were completely irrelevant to my research are the ones that helped me the most. I had a chance to think outside of my own head. So Adam Geary taught a class on Freud, which was flexible enough in terms of the assignments that I could be incredibly creative. And so I ended up doing Freudian analysis of films for 16 weeks, which made me really happy. There's an awful lot in Hamlet, too, when you take the time to pick it apart and use discipline and punish to analyze it. So Adam Geary's class was by far, I think, the most fun I had. Jen Croissant's Women in the Body class was the link. It was the link I needed, because the issues that surround women's bodies and how their bodies work and my interns who throw their iced teas while in a meeting. Now I have to fire an intern. God. This is the first time I fired you this summer, right?
Yeah, I haven't been fired yet.
Okay.
You'll rehire me like in a few hours.
Yeah, no, girl, I got work for you to do. I need to be back in like 5 minutes. So, Jen Croissant's Women in the Body class initially had an article about maquiladora workers in Juarez and how they were actually sort of complicit in what we as academics would say their own oppression. And because they were playing into the male gaze and using their bodies to garner sexual favor with the shop floor supervisors. And I thought, like, oh, I wonder if teachers are complicit in student oppression. I wonder if teachers are complicit in oppressing themselves as a population when it comes to this digital literacy stuff. And then it went off. So those two classes were foundational for what I wanted to do. But I did the teaching and higher education certificate as well through the UITS, it's the University Teaching Center, UTF, it's an acronym. And that was incredible. That was by far, it was great to get out of the department and to meet students in other disciplines and to develop some applied skills that have come really in handy here at WISE when I have to fire interns and then rehire them back because they're on deadline. And also, it's come in handy in terms of my own pedagogical development, and that's one of the areas that I chose to really focus on.
Cool. Switch gears a little bit. Do you have any favorite features of the GWS department?
I've called it the fishbowl for 5 years because there's a circular area that's completely visible no matter where you are in the building. And then we have these, our cubes. So we have sort of a panopticon experience here where if you're in the center of it, you're obviously being surveyed. But then we go into our own little cells, or offices, if you have a window, where we do our own work. And, unlike Foucault's panopticon, we actually don't have surveillance while in our offices. But nonetheless, it still has this really interesting idea behind the construction of the building. So my favorite thing is being out of the building. I love my office. It's a work in progress always, in part because I've got 20 interns and half of them are in here all year long. So for my summer, I spend time taking stuff out of bags and filing or putting stuff back on the walls because we had to take it down to take it to a conference. So my favorite thing is what we're doing now. We're developing an area to sit and to socialize, and we have lanterns up, and it's bright and happy, and it's the least institutional we've been since we came to this building in 2008. I'm a huge fan. Yeah, we can do the
Don't really write them in big font on this paper and hold it up.
No,
Kind of kidding about that.
I don't want to pretend that I've stopped doing research, even though I've graduated. And this is an example of ongoing projects and research. All right, so why?
Ready.
So you really enjoy your office. You work up here in WISE. What exactly is WISE?
WISE stands for Women in Science and Engineering, but it's made a huge leap in the last, the 3.5 years that I've been here. It's been really evident. We've gone from a program that had one intern that did a conference annually for junior high school girls with 120 attendees to a program now that has 2.5 conferences that we deliver annually, a mentoring program, a population-specific program with Pasquayaki School District, Pasquayaki and Lawrence School, and now I think it's Tangerine Junior High Intermediate as well. That just changed with some of the school closures into USD. We've got 20 interns, we have scholarships, we have travel grants, we have oh my gosh, we have a fiscal literacy program that talks about getting into college and making it affordable. We've got Jennifer and Lupita who are going to be doing an outreach program for students who are interested in STEM but maybe are concerned about how to get into the fields and whether or not they actually qualify, whether they're good enough to be in STEM. And then we have a lot of outreach. We do small events outreach across the community, Amphi School District. We work really closely with the Girl Scouts. They're one of our partners locally. We do a lot. There's pretty much nothing we can't do, although sometimes we have to narrow it down a bit for the sake of my interns and myself. Otherwise, I could work pretty much through the next year and not sleep. There's so much opportunity, and it's exhausting, but really exciting. You know, we're doing really good big things. In particular, we're actually at this stage working on developing some sort of leadership component. So WISE would have a couple courses attached to it, and hopefully help some students matriculate from Pima into the University of Arizona. We want to obviously increase enrollment in the STEM fields, but I'm also interested in increasing enrollment for social behavioral sciences because our students are fantastic administrators for the more formal STEM fields. And so you get a anthropologist that goes and works in a medical office managing the scientists and the data collaborations and interaction between teams. And I think there's a real market for social behavioral science students to actually move into the STEM. And so we're working with the Dean's Office, Southwest Institute for Research on Women and Gender and Women's Studies to start moving the vision of WISE from an outreach-based umbrella to an outreach-based umbrella that has at the very top of it leadership, advocacy, and social justice.
Cool.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, what is your title here at WISE?
I am the Director of Women in Science and Engineering. Yeah. Occasionally I ask my students to call me the wise one or wise leader, preferably in public in front of one of our deans, because we always could use a little extra funding.
What's one of your best memories here at WISE?
The interns. Honestly, this is what I do this for. I love the outreach. I love what we do for junior high and high school students, but I show up every day for my interns. They're my team. They're my chosen family here. And you know, whether it's a pajama party because we have to stay up really late working for a conference, or whether it's going to get coffee, that's the current currency for bribery. What I do with my interns is what fills my cup. It fills my emotional needs as a advocate. And so I can give more because I feel like I would get so much back from them. So favorite memory, I don't know. I ran into a door in front of all my interns. They thought that was hilarious, and then spent days running into doors until somebody new ran into a door mocking me running into a door, which spawned a whole new level of Facebook interactions. We've had really great pizza nights. We've had interns that have slept on the sofa. We've had interns that have cried on the sofa, and those are my favorites, is getting to experience their lives and where I've been and see how much potential, how incredibly sophisticated they are. And remembering myself a decade ago when I was still walking into doors but had no clue about how to be a student. And I just see so much growth and so much potential and so much, they're so self-possessed as a group. They're insane. It's not, I don't want to mislead you. They are in their early 20s and they're nuts. But it's good nuts, and it's a nuts with an energy that you can harness, and that, you know, at this stage we have 100% placement. 100% of the WISE students graduate that have been interns, and 100% of them are either in the graduate program of their choice, they have a job prior to graduating, or they have an internship that they have to fulfill before they apply to like medical school. So that's it. That's where I see our success, is that we have the pipeline from junior high, and we get them to grad school.
Awesome. It's a big impact here in the department. Are there any things about the community at large, Tucson in general, that you really enjoy?
Well, for WISE, if we're specific to WISE, it's the collaboration. Mm-hmm. It's that we have a dream of a science city. We have a dream of a place where STEM has a home and where students can learn all of the applications of STEM, not just sitting in a lab or, you know, staring at a formula all day. It's the potential for more. And that's what I enjoy most about Tucson as far as work goes. As far as my personal life, it's the blue sky. Every day. I don't get sick of it. People say, oh, I want fall or winter. No, I don't.
I'm with you.
I want perpetual summer ranging from bloody hot to just warm and dry. Right now we're in bloody hot stage, so I'm ready for some of the warm and dry weather that comes in October.
Yeah, I hear that. It's beautiful. Is there anything else you wanna share?
No, just really how grateful I am to Women in Science and Engineering, to the Southwest Institute for Research on Women, to the Department of Gender and Women's Studies. I feel that I came in as a student who was ready to succeed, and they gave me permission. They gave me permission, which I needed. I needed somebody to say, don't stop, don't be scared, don't apologize. You know, you've got this. And I very much got this from my supervisors, my mentor. Monica Casper's department head has been exceedingly supportive. Sally Stevens, as the director of the Southwest Institute for Research on Women, has said to me, what do you want to do? Let's make this happen. You know, I feel advocated for.
Yeah.
So as an employee, I feel advocated for. As a student, I feel advocated for. And in both roles, I feel the ability to be autonomous and to be inspired. And that's why Gender and Women's Studies is where I stayed.
Awesome. Man. Boom.
Nice.
Go team.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, almost doctor. No, just almost doctor.
Just almost.
There's